Once upon a time in the chill town of Whispering Pines, where the moon cast dope shadows over the winding streets, there stood this ancient mansion that looked like it came straight out of a horror game. Its walls were all old and crusty, and its windows were boarded up like they didn't want nobody peeping inside. But let me tell you, this wasn't just an old mansion. It was like the motherlode of all spooky places. A legend whispered by all the cool kids who knew of the curse that was straight up haunting its halls. Deep within the heart of this mega mansion, hidden away in a forgotten room that nobody had the guts to enter, hung a mirror that was like no other. Its frame was all carved from this dark wood, and its surface was glowing with this freaky light that was straight out of a sci-fi flick. This was the Mirror of Legend. The mirror that supposedly held the key to all the crazy stuff nobody was supposed to know about. Now, over the years, this mirror had seen some stuff, man. It had been there since forever, and it was like it was just getting stronger with every passing day. People had tried to smash it to pieces, thinking they could delete the curse or whatever, but no dice. That mirror was like a magnet for bad vibes, a portal to a whole other dimension of darkness and chaos. And the rumors, oh boy, let me tell you about the rumors. Some folks said it was cursed by this old witch who got shafted by the mansion's OG owner. Others say it was a gateway to another universe, like something out of a video game or whatever. But no matter what people said, there were always those brave or just plain stupid enough to want to check it out for themselves. And so it was one wild night that a squad of curious teens decided to roll up to the mansion and see what all the fuss was about. Leading the charge was Sarah, a total boss babe with a hunger for adventure. She'd heard all the stories about the haunted mirror, but she was all about that YOLO life. To her, it was just another level in the game, another mystery to solve. As the squad made their way through the mansion, Sarah couldn't shake this weird feeling creeping up on her, like something was watching from the shadows. The vibes were off, and even her avatar was getting some major goosebumps. But finally, they reached the room where the mirror was chilling, its glow giving off this eerie vibe. The other kids were hesitating, but not Sarah. Nah, she was all in, ready to dive headfirst into the unknown. With a confident grin, she stepped up to the mirror and gave it the once-over. At first, it was just her reflection staring back at her, nothing too crazy. But then things started to get weird. Her reflection was moving on its own, doing stuff she wasn't doing, its eyes shining like some kind of glitch in the Matrix, and then, out of nowhere, the mirror rippled like water, and Sarah felt herself getting pulled in, like she was getting sucked into some kind of black hole. She screamed, her friends freaked out as they watched her vanish into thin air. When Sarah's eyes popped open, she was in this totally whacked out place that looked like something straight out of her... Oh my god. She was in this totally whacked out place that looked like something straight out of a Roblox horror game. It was like all shadows and weird shapes, like she'd stumbled into some kind of parallel universe. But she wasn't alone. Standing there was this figure cloaked in darkness, its eyes glowing like something out of a TikTok nightmare. It started talking, its voice echoing all around her like some kind of evil narrator. "You've trespassed into my domain," it said, its voice giving Sarah major heebie-jeebies. "And now you're going to pay the price for being such a nosy Parker." Sarah tried to bolt, but she was stuck in place like her character was glitching out. She begged for mercy, but all she got was this creepy laugh that made her blood run cold. And then it was game on. A trip through her worst fears and darkest secrets, each one more twisted than the last. She saw herself falling into this endless pit, her screams lost in the void. She saw her friends turning on her, their faces all twisted with hate. She saw herself trapped in this never-ending nightmare, unable to wake up no matter how hard she tried. But Sarah was no noob. She knew she had to level up and beat this boss battle no matter how tough it seemed. And just when she thought she was going to rage quit, something changed. The darkness started to fade, and she felt herself getting pulled back to reality. With one last burst of energy, she broke free from the mirror's grip and stumbled back into the room, her friends freaking out, their avatars all glitching like crazy. But Sarah knew it wasn't over yet. The mirror was still there, its surface rippling with bad vibes. And when she looked into it one last time, she saw something that could rival the craziest Among Us theories. Her own reflection, all twisted and messed up like something out of a horror movie. And that's when it hit her. The mirror wasn't just a portal, it was like a prison for anyone dumb enough to get caught in its trap, and she knew she had to warn everyone before it was too late. As the days turned to weeks, Sarah tried to forget about the mirror, about all the creepy stuff she'd seen, but it was like it was stuck on repeat, playing over and over in her head like some kind of cursed memory. And then, one night, she heard this whispering come from the other room, like something from a ghost story. She tried to brush it off, but it kept getting louder and louder until she couldn't ignore it anymore. With her heart pounding in her chest, she crept into the room where the mirror was, and there it was. Her reflection, staring back at her with this evil grin. With a scream, she bolted out of there, vowing never to go near that cursed mirror again, but deep down, she knew it wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And as she ran, she couldn't shake the feeling that the nightmare was just getting started. Hey there kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and I want to tell you thank you so much for watching tonight's video if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening to tonight's podcast if you're listening on Spotify, and thank you guys for doing that thing where you subscribe, where you hit the bell, where you hit like, or you leave a little comment at the bottom or wherever you can leave comments at. I don't know, I don't use Spotify that much. And finally, I want to give a huge thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon. This past year has been rough. I've been gone for quite a while trying to get things organized for my own life, and Patreon subscribers, you guys who subscribe everywhere, this has kept me afloat in turbulent waters. So I want to give a very special thank you to Jordan Humble, Diana Kraus, Disciple, Strategy Wolf Emoji, SullyMan, Brandon Mendoza, BrimstonePandemonium, Caltuna, William Wellington, Scruffy the Janitor, Brenna LaQueda Canizales, Smiley the Psychotic, Djenna, Dante Kinkade, SimbasBloodyMojo, Mephistopheles, CursepoxPrimarch, M, Jesus Cornejo, Yarghoul, VerbalHorror, Amber Clark, J. Kearns, Mike, himbojerry, CrusaderChocobo, Corbin Dallas, Estebean, Seclude, Salty Surprise, Red Shadowcat, Turtleman, Cryolinian, Mr. Marcus Blitz, Dirt Diver 030, Voice of Sand, Psychomel, Melted Lake, Tali Sue, William King, Sashi Suzaku, Croconut 509, Stricken, Freddy Krueger, Hades Nephew, Acid System, Sky Harbor, Nico Kyle, The Ginger Bros, Aaron Stormcrow, Daniel Polson, and Corey Kenshin. I really appreciate your support, and I cannot thank you enough.